So hello everyone and welcome back again in Bear Act series, and this is part ninth of this series, and in this video we are going to discuss part 5th of the Indian Constitution, which deals with the Union of India, right? In this video, and particularly in this part 5th, right, we are going to discuss about President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Council of Minister, Parliament. All the institutions that are related to the union are enshrined in the constitution in the part 5th. So from article 51 onwards, we will discuss each institution in detail, clause by clause. So today in this video we are going to discuss from article number 52 to 60, because in my earlier videos I have discussed completely from article 1 to article number 51, that means fundamental duty part 4th A. Okay, here you can see that I have added original text of the constitution. If you want to read it, you can read. Otherwise, I have provided a simplest explanation here, which I am going to explain that in simple way. So, Article 52 provides a precedent for the Union of the India. So, there will be a post of the president according to Article 52. And Article 53 is about that the executive power of the Union will be vested within president. That is the article number 53. That means executive power is basically derived from the president. And article 54 is about the how president will be elect. Okay, the criteria to elect the president are discussed in article number 54. You can see various clauses here that in their electoral college who have the eligibility to participate in the election. Everything in detail are discussed in the article number 54. Okay, as you can see here, article number 55 also, that how president will get elected, that is the manner of the election of the president are described in article number 55. So election of the president in article 54, manner of the election in article number 55. 52, there shall be a president for the Union of India. Article number 53, talking about executive power of the Union shall be vested within the president. Okay, so you can see here, if you want to read it out, you can read it from here, but I am now going to discuss in a very simple way. So this is about the president of India, and we will discuss from article 52 to 60. Okay, article 52 is about the president of India, that there shall be a president for the India. Okay, so that means it imposes obligations that there must be a president for the Union of India, and who will be the constitutional head of the Union. So article 52 provides a institution, constitutional head institution as a president. Okay, so you need to remember that article 32 provides the post of the president. Article 53, so article 53 is about the executive power of the Union, and article 53 is about that executive power of the Union shall be vested in the president and shall be exercised by him or her either directly or through the officers subordinate to him in accordance with the constitution. That simple meaning that the executive power of the Union is formally vested in the president, that is mentioned in the Indian Constitution, and that is mentioned under article 53 part 5th of the Indian Constitution. But the president exercises his power either directly or through the officers who are subordinate to him or her. Okay, now this is clause 1 of article 53, and clause 2 of article 53 is basically that without prejudice to the generality of the foregoing provision, the supreme command of the defense forces of the Union shall also be vested in the president. That means under article number 53 clause 2, who will be the supreme commander of the armed forces or the defense forces, that will be president. So president of India according to article 53 clause 2 consider as a commander of the supreme commander of the defense forces. Okay, but the president will exercise this power according to the law, and who make the law? Parliament will make the law. Okay, so article 53 provides president the executive power of the Union. Apart from this, article also provides a supreme command over the defense forces. That is the article number 53, and it also has a clause 3 as well. That means article 53 clause 3 is basically nothing in this article shall be deemed to be transferred to the president any function conferred by any existing law on the government of any state or other authority. Let me make it very simple, that Article 53 automatically does not transfer power belonging to state government or another authority to the president. Okay, Article 53 does not automatically transfers power belonging to state government or another authority to the president. Not automatically. Let's suppose there is a national emergency and or state emergency. Okay, you know that at that moment of time president will acquire the power and parliament also will acquire the power, and when president can issue ordinance when there will be no assembly, okay, that going on. If there is no assembly in a state legislature, okay, assembly is suspended, then only president can issue ordinances. That simple means president do not get power that basically held with the state government directly or automatically. It depend on the situation. Okay, in parliament it also prevent parliament from conferring by law functions on authority other than the president. That means that parliament can make a law giving certain function to authorities other than the president. Suppose if there are so much power lies with the president, and if parliament think that no, this is enough for the president to act on, then parliament can transfer some power to other authorities as well as the parliament think fit. That is the simple meaning. Okay, so this was about article 53, in which we have discussed clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, subclause A, subclause B. Okay, article 54 is about how president will elect. Now president shall be elected by electoral college, but who comprised electoral college, who are the parts of this electoral college, this also described in this article. So clause A is about that the elected member are both the house of the parliament, that is Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha, and only elected member, not nominated member. So elected member of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they will comprise or they will included in the electoral college, and nominated member do not vote. That is the simple meaning. Apart from that, the elected member of legislative assembly of the state also be part of the electoral college. Here governor also appoint or nominate few members to the legislative council. Okay, but no, only legislative assembly will take part in the state. Okay, elected MLA of the state will participate in the presidential election. And the constitution defining of state in this article also include Delhi and Puducherry for this purpose, because Delhi and Puducherry have their own legislative assembly. That's why they are included. Regarding Jammu and Kashmir, we do not have any concrete you can say evidence or the law that whether they are included or not. Okay, so you need to remember that president's electoral college consists of elected MPs and elected MLA only, not nominated one. That you should keep in mind. And elected MPs of the parliament and elected MLA of the state legislature. Okay, now tell me how MLAs are elected. Okay, so MLA are elected directly by the people. Okay, article 55 talking about how the election will be carried out of the president. That means the manner through which the election of the president will be held. Okay, so as far as practicable, there shall be uniformity in the scale of representation of the different state at the election of the president. As you all know, the different state legislative assemblies have not a uniform number of member, right? They have a different numbers of member. Okay, each state assemblies has a different number of MLAs, right? Now how? Because of their population. If population is large of any state, there will be more in number MLA, otherwise the number of MLA will get reduced. So it is depend on the population. But article 55 clause says that as far as practicable, there shall be uniformity. Okay, so the voting system tries to maintain balance among the different states, because different states have a different population, and that's why different number of MLAs are elected in that particular legislative assembly. Okay, now clause 2 is the voting value of elected MP and MLA is calculated in the following manner. That means how the value of vote of one MP will be calculated and how the value of vote of one MLA will be calculated. It is also described in this article. So every elected MLA gets vote according to population of state and the number of elected members of the legislative assembly. That means number of MLAs in that legislative assemblies upon total number of the population. That is the value of one MLA. Okay, so MLA vote depend on the population of the state and number of elected MLA. Okay, population of the state and number of elected MLA. So here the formula is given, you can note it down. Okay, so 1 mla will be equal to total number of okay, this will be in denominator and this will be in numerator. Okay, so yes, number of the mla will be equal to population upon my total number of the elected mla. Okay, now the constitution uses the prescribed population basis in the 1000 multiple calculation that you need to multiply by 1000. Okay, this is the process of the finding the value of 1 mla. Now, if after taking the multiples of 1000 the remainder is 500 or more, the mla's vote is increased by 1. That is simple explanation, that after dividing or after finding the number of mla, if there is a remaining population of 500 or more, then 1 extra vote will be added. That is simple meaning. Now clause C is about that how the value of MP, 1 MP vote will be calculated. So it is simple, that number of the elected MPs, okay, all elect dividing by all elected MLA. So how will be calculated? Total number of votes of all MLA including of all the state upon total number of elected MP. So you can find value of vote of 1 MP by just dividing total number of MLA and upon total number of elected MPs. Okay, and if the fraction is more than half, that means this fraction comes greater than 1 by 2, then it is counted as 1. Okay, otherwise it is ignored. So the value of MP's vote is designed to maintain a balance between state and the union. Now the clause 3 is about that how president, I mean the system, that how president will elected. So they will elected through the system of the proportional representation and by means of single transferable vote. That simple means that you have to give preference. Let's suppose there are 5 candidates. Now you have to give preference that whom you want to at first place. Okay, let's suppose 1 2 3 4 5. So every MP will vote and MLA will vote like this, will give the preference to their candidate, and in the last who will get preference number 1 in large number, they will get elected. Okay, so the president is elected through proportional representation plus single transferable vote plus secret ballot. Okay, so article 55 is talking about how the president is elected. But you know that the value through which the number of MPs and number of elected is number of MLA is decided basically. Now the for article 55, the population refer to population according to the last preceding census. That means you have to use the census of 1971 until 2026 census are published, not of 2011 or not of 1991 even. You have to use the census of 1971 unless 2026 census are published. That is the simple meaning. Why? Because you know North Indian state have much progressed in number of population as compared to South Indian state, right? That's why this provision is added, that it seized basically the population or use of census in particular in presidential election. That is the simple meaning. Now article 56 is about the terms of the office of the president. So clause 1 says that the president will hold their office for the term of 5 years from which date he entered into office. So the normal terms for the president will be 5 years, and the president may resign and he will give his or her resignation to the vice president of India. Okay, and also president may be removed for violation of the constitution by the process through the impeachment. So you will find only one ground in the constitution of India, that is the violation of the constitution. So also through the impeachment process, the member of the Lok Sabha plus Raj Sabha, both elected and nominated, can remove the president by the process of the impeachment if the president found guilty of the violation of the constitution. Okay, and even after end of 5 years, the president will continue in their office unless his or her successor enters office. That is the simple meaning, that yes, president can act beyond 5 years. How? Unless his or her successor enters office. That is the basis of this article. But there can't be gap between one president leaving and the next president taking charges, that I have discussed. Clause 2 says that any resignation that addressed to the vice president shall immediately be communicated by him to the speaker of the house of the Lok Sabha. Now suppose the president think that he or she should resign, he or she will submit his resignation to the vice president of India. After that, immediately vice president of India will inform to the speaker of the Lok Sabha. Okay, so there is a mention of the Lok Sabha speaker, not chairman of the Raj Sabha. So whom vice president will inform speaker of the Lok Sabha. Okay, so article 56 is 5-year resignation, impeachment and continuity. Okay, article 57 is about the eligibility for the re-election. You know, in US a president can be re-elect 2 times only. That means one when they will elect, and they again can contest election and they can get elected. After that they can't contest election to get elected as a president. But in India there is no limitation. Okay, so a person who hold or who has held office as president shall, subject to other provision of this constitution, be eligible for re-election to that office. That means there is no constitutional limit on the number of times a person can be elected as a president. Okay, a former president can also contest election again. So you need to remember that article 57 is about the re-election, and it allowed the re-election. Article 58 about qualifications of the president or to contest the election of the president. So clause 1 says that a person will be eligible to become president only if he or she follows certain criteria or fulfills certain requirement. And the requirement is simple: he or she should be a citizen of India, and also his or her age should be 35 years, and he or she should be qualified to elect as a member of the house. If any person satisfy or fulfilling these criteria or these requirements, then he or she can contest election for the president post. Okay, clause 2 says that if a person is not eligible to contest election for the president of India if he hold any office of profit, but there are certain exceptions as well. Now what is office of profit? Office of profit is not defined nowhere in the constitution. Okay, like if you are working under the government of India, government of any state, local authority or authority that are under the control of the government, then these are considered as office of profit. But if you are MP, MLA, vice president, president, these posts are not considered as a office of profit. Okay, so if a person holding a government office of profit generally can't contest for the president. Okay, but if they are president or vice president, governor of state, minister of the union of state, they can contest the election, and when they will get elected to the post of president, they will vacate his or her earlier seat. That is the simple meaning. So article 58 provides that citizens, you should be citizen for contesting election, your age should be 35 years, and you qualify for the contesting the election for the Lok Sabha. That means for the contesting of Lok Sabha you need to 25 years of age, and there should be no post as a office of profit, then you can contest election. Article 59 is conditions of the president's office. So the president cannot be a member of either Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha or state legislature. No, president can't be member of these houses. If an MP or MLA become president, their seat is considered vacant from the day as they entered into office, and you cannot simultaneously be president plus MP or MLA. No. Clause 2 is that president shall hold any other office of profit. That means, president can't hold any other office of profit. That if you are a president, then only you are a president. Also, the president is entitled to use an official residence without paying rent. That is also mentioned in the constitution. Emoluments, allowances, privileges that are basically determined by the parliament. So these are mentioned right in the constitution. Until parliament makes such provision, these are governed by the second schedule. And the simplest explanation that the constitution provides some facilities for the president, like salary related or allowances or where they will live, where they will reside. Okay, so everything for the president is provided under these articles. And clause 4 says that emoluments and allowances of the president shall not be diminished during his term of office. Okay, so the president's salary and allowances can't be reduced while they are in office. So article 59 is about condition of the president's office, and today last article, that is oath or affirmation of the president. As you all know, schedule 3rd contain the oath or affirmation for the MP, MLA and some other institution, right? But you will not find the mention of oath and affirmation of the president in this schedule. No, because this is mentioned in the article 60 itself. Now every president and every person acting as president, or even they are discharging the duty of president, they must take an oath or affirmation before entering the office. And what is the oath basically? So it is made in the presence of Chief Justice of India. That means who has the responsibility to let the president take oath. That responsibility or the power lies with the Chief Justice of India, or in their absence any senior most judge of the Supreme Court. So here you will not find the mention of the Chief Justice of High Court or the Chief Justice of other court, okay, or the judges of High Court. And the oath includes the promise to faithfully execute the office of president, preserve, protect, and defend the constitution and the law, and also devote oneself to the service and well-being of the people. Okay, so before becoming president, the person formally promises to protect the constitution, to follow the law, and to serve the people. So remember, Article 60 itself provide for the oath of the president. You can take a quick revision here that Article 52 was about President of India. 53, executive power will lies or will be vested in the President of India, and there shall be election to the post of the President of India. How they will get elected? Now their term of office, whether they are eligible for re-election or not, what should be the qualifications to contest the election for president, what are the conditions when you will enter or when you are going to enter in the president office, and oath and affirmation. So these are articles that are related to the president. You can use this memory trick as well. Article 52 talking about who and the power with whom lies with, who will elect the president, who constitute the electoral college, how president will elected, how will long he remains in the office, whether they are eligible for election or not, who can contest the election or who can become the president of India, what are the some restrictions that are provided, and what are the oaths that president should take or anyone who is acting as a president before entering his office. So these about the president. This article I have discussed it in detail. Whatever doubt you can ask in comment section. If you have any suggestion, let me know in comment section. If you like this video, kindly like this video, share with, and if you want a PDF, then you can join Telegram channel. Okay.